Cynthia Erivo. Cynthia Erivo. I'm not commenting even on her natural appearance. I'm saying she, sometimes in performances, she has really long, pointy, scary nails, tons of piercings, and kind of hunched over. And that's how Cynthia Erivo, a woman, decided that she would play Christ in Jesus Christ Superstar at the Hollywood Bowl. That's enough. That's all I need of the performance. You know, the one thing I'll say for Cynthia Erivo, she is striking looking, which is helpful for actors. It is, and Brando is striking looking. Okay. What does the director say? Cynthia's brilliant. Her voice, presence, and simultaneous power and vulnerability absolutely blows my mind, and working with her has been a dream. I'm excited by the challenge of presenting the audience with a production led by a female Black Jesus, and encourage the audience to expand their minds a bit. Originally utilizing rock and roll, Jesus Christ Superstar is supposed to provoke and challenge. That's the point. And shouldn't the teachings of Jesus transcend gender? This is going to convince some Christians. Because obviously Christ's teachings, well, it's not that they transcend gender, it's that they speak to both genders. They speak to men and to women. But even if, let's just grant the premise that Christ's teaching transcends gender. Christ does not transcend gender. And this is a real stumbling block for people. Christ does not transcend gender in that Christ is a man. Christ has a holy mother, the Virgin Mary. So it's not, the whole story isn't all just men, but Christ is a man. And this is the part that is just impossible for people to understand. This has been, and especially in the fullest extent in the crucifixion, this has been a stumbling block and foolishness. This is, just to quote 1 Corinthians chapter 1, 20 to 25, where is the wise man, where is the scribe, where is the debater of this age? Has not God made foolish the wisdom of the world? For since in the wisdom of God, the world did not know God through wisdom, it pleased God through the folly of what we preach to save those who believe. For Jews demand signs and Greeks seek wisdom, but we preach Christ crucified, a stumbling block to Jews and folly to Gentiles. But to those who are called, both Jews and Greeks, Christ the power of God and the wisdom of God, for the foolishness of God is wiser than men, and the weakness of God is stronger than men. This is the key here. Here, St. Paul is writing about the crucifixion, but we can extend this even to the whole of the incarnation. This is a stumbling block to Jews because in the Jewish understanding, God's not supposed to be a man. This is folly to Gentiles. This is ridiculous to Gentiles. Not just that, as St. Paul is describing, that God can be crucified, but how can God be crucified? Because God has a human nature in Christ. A divine nature and a human nature together. And that means Christ is a man, which means he looked like something. And he didn't look like Cynthia. He looks like something, I should say. But during his sojourn on earth, he looked a certain way. Glorified body looks a little bit different too, but in the resurrection. But he doesn't look like Cynthia Erivo. He does in the sense that we're all human beings, but he is a certain height. He's a certain sex. He has certain hair. He is a certain race. He's particular. There is a particularity to God. That is a fact of the Christian faith, a fact revealed in the Christian faith. That is a stumbling block to Jews and folly to Gentiles. And all these people, these directors, oh, how wise they are. Imagine though, what if Christ were Cynthia Erivo? And again, it's not even just about her natural appearance. It's the long pointy nails. It's all of the mutilations, all of the piercings and all the rest of it being hunched over. It's this presentation that I think is intentionally or unintentionally doesn't quite look divine. That's the issue. And it comes out of a scandal. All these wise people, imagine if. But listen, I'm going to show you how smart we are. Imagine if Christ were a woman. Imagine if. Yeah. That sounds to me like the thought of the wise man, the scribe, the debater of this age. But the foolishness of God is wiser than men.
Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.